And a little plug to Atik Zavinsky, who is trying to revitalize the Occupy Media Working Group, specifically to coordinate editors making sense of this huge amount of footage. Live streamers go to events and film for hours, but then to go back through and find those couple-minute clips or the remixes that you can make that actually would get out there further is a laborious task, one which Vlad Teichenberg, who is one of the founding members of the Occupy Media Working Group from Global Revolution Live, also has been working on a project called OccupyTheComms.cc, which is designed to be a coordination hub for this kind of collaboration. And looking back again at what makes some of this content so powerful, and Rebecca and I were just talking about this a little bit before, Upworthy.com curates meaningful visual content as its reason d'etre. When it comes to Occupy Wall Street, do you feel like the visual content, the meaningfulness, or to activists in general, like labor activists, advocacy organizers, what else should they be looking for in this content to make sure it's the kind of thing that will spread in the way that Upworthy is really mastered?
Well, one thing that we've found, or at least in my experience in getting these things to share really well, is that you want to try to avoid kind of preaching to the choir. Like, you know, Occupy people and people who care about Occupy are going to watch these videos anyway. So you want to frame it in a way that, you know, Joe Schmo living in Minnesota who doesn't care about Occupy Wall Street is still going to understand how the housing crisis or the banking crisis or loans are going to affect him. So when we put our headlines up, you know, our writing process is you write 25 headlines and then you pick the one that you think is going to work the best to make it like so that people will click on it and also so that they'll share it. And a lot of times, you know, we say, well, let's take the name Occupy Wall Street out of the headline because people who already have certain assumptions about the movement won't click on this, and once they click on it and watch it, then they'll understand the message, and maybe they won't see Occupy Wall Street as whatever it is the media is saying about it. So that's a really big thing that we found in getting that to share. And the other thing, you know, you guys were talking a little bit about things being timely, but some of our biggest hits have been, like, there was a 2-year-old clip of the Irish president ranting about the Tea Party, and that got like 4 million hits, and it was 2 years old. So as long as you frame something in a way that is like still relevant today, people will still watch it. And even though like Occupy Wall Street itself, the Zuccotti Park thing was, you know, not yesterday, if, you know, you edited all that video together and you put it in a way that is like, this stuff is still happening, things still haven't changed, we still need to make stuff happen and people still need to listen to this, that's the sort of thing that could still go viral today. So like timely, you know, it's not always about getting it up fastest. Sometimes it's about waiting and seeing, you know, what the overall story is, and then putting one concise video together that explains all of that, and that people will share because they'll be like, oh, this is just one story and I can share this and I don't need to watch like 800 different remixed videos to understand the story. If you can put it all in one concise video, you know, that shares just as well.
The focus on story, I think, is absolutely crucial, and it was one of the things since Occupy was so unique, both in the Wisconsin Capitol occupation, which was very much a labor-driven event, as well as Occupy Wall Street, which was all sorts of different kind of activists. Really, the narrative that video portrayed much better than anything else, frankly, in my view, was that these weren't others. I mean, these were people that were kind of regular people, like teachers sleeping inside the Wisconsin Capitol occupation, college students, grad students, of a diverse spectrum of people sleeping in Zuccotti Park. When people were able to see and feel a connection to these people, I feel like it really changed the game in terms of how things were viewed. And in that vein, on Messiah's website, rhodespictures.com, you say your goal is to continue to project voices, stories, and ideas into the public media space that are socially conscious, entertaining, and enlightening. Of course, you could do this kind of work in all sorts of spheres, but why do you think video of activist events have been so effective at achieving these goals?
I don't know. I mean, I've been slowly evolving to bigger stuff, but I guess it's just like on the ground. I think live streaming is going to pretty much take our jobs anyway. Once people like have access to that content, you know, the same way you have these memes of like, you know, hide your kids, hide your wife, and you know, ain't got no time for that. some average person can go in these live stream feeds and pick something out of that and really make something like, viral out of these live stream footage. I think that's gonna be the future of stuff, But when it comes on the ground stuff, I don't know. It's just, I started filming all the way in January 2011 at the Egyptian Solidarity marches in the UN. I'm still sitting on this footage, so there's a lot of footage. It's gonna be a feature film soon, and then, I just saw that, something was building here and people really needed to see it on the ground, even though they may come across this video like 4 years from now, just to see like, stuff was happening, stuff was building, people were organizing from May 12th, 2011, to the little occupation that happened in Albany in March 2011, to Bloombergville. There was a context to what was going on. Like people were like everyday people, wasn't like professional people out there, doing this stuff with everyday people. I just feel that's the most important aspect of it, to see that, it was people who had no politics, people, who like, just decided to wake up and be conscious and be like, want to learn more about what's going on, do activism, But do activism, that's just an entry point. Next is to move into like organizing and mobilizing within the communities. But activism, I feel this is just one entry point that people can see, and then they can move further into like the experience, of the left, do these activist videos, 'cause that's the first ground, like, that's on the ground, but then what's next after that, so.
And looking at what's next, what's amazing, if you haven't spent much time in live streams, what's fascinating, particularly about some of these successful Occupy Wall Street-based live streams, as well as the ones in Wisconsin, and basically any, all sorts of organizations, political events, people are embracing live stream in a new way just in the last year or so. There's a live chat room that's going on that sucks in tweets it can sync to a Twitter account or to other social media, where there's an active conversation about what clips are the best, what's happening, where they want the live streamer to go, what he should be talking about. And as the live streamer's filming, let's say on an iPhone or some sort of mobile device, they're able to watch and take part in this discussion. So like the audience is contributing to how they film while also creating a record of the best things that he has filmed. So in theory, and what a lot of these Occupy working groups are now trying to figure out a way to collaborate on, is how do you get those notes that were filmed live at the time translated into digestible clips of the video so that people that want to plug in don't have to watch an hour, but they could just watch a couple minutes. And to your other point, in terms of the power of organizing, one thing that we have been talking about, I believe, with everybody on this panel and everyone in general a very fair amount, is a big hurdle that we have for getting these voices out, for getting these videos out, is the most successful social network to date, Facebook, has been specifically changing its algorithm in terms of how videos distribute through it. According to Facebook, Facebook's blog, their official blog, they say that if your post includes a photo album, picture, or video, it generates about 180%, 120%, and 100% more engagement. So as if it's a photo album, it gets almost double as much as a video. And anecdotally, it seems like it's even more off than this, and we can't know because it's dependent on their secret algorithm called EdgeRank, which decides which content to seed in whose feeds. And the numbers just continue to fluctuate, where online activists and social media strategists are kind of just playing by ear, seeing what other people are doing and modeling what works. And the best analogy that I've heard of it since is that these changes really started to be implemented after Facebook spent $1 billion to buy Instagram. And as Facebook as a company now, it's turning into Instagram is to Facebook as YouTube is to Google, where Facebook is now just this social network for photos. And it's increasingly focusing on them to the extent to which their recent newsfeed redesign had these filters that let you see only photos in your newsfeed, but it doesn't have a similar filter just to see all the videos. Which they easily create. It's the same system, but just they want you to focus on the pictures. And Winnie, as someone who spends a very fair amount of your time sucked into Facebook and looking at these analytics, how have you experienced these disparity, and how has it impacted your social media strategy?
Well, I think that I'm not saying that I've like cracked EdgeRank, because I'm not trying to do that, because that's a bot and I'm not a bot. But I think that like you can build community in Facebook, and you can like make friends with people who have very big followings, and then you can open up this sort of like network, and then you can create your own network, and then you start seeing like a lot of movement and traction on the things that you share and curate. me personally, I moderate and I admin like a lot of different feeds on Facebook, and some of them are Occupy oriented, some of them are way more radical, some of them are very political, and some of them are like, you know, kind of corporate. Like Good, for instance, is an example of a Facebook feed that I help to manage. And we're implementing like a lot of Instagram because we want to sort of stay on trend with what's going on. But I'm also like opening Good up to like my more sort of radical activist oriented network. So now we're sort of seeing like, you know, Good posts who would not normally be featured in like Occupy Sandy crop up in Occupy Sandy. So that's what I do. Like I've fostered this like kind of network of you know, of openness, and you know, other admins will happily share something that I post, and I'll do the same for them. And you know, there's a lot of people online who are doing the same thing. 350 is doing that. Sierra Club, not so much, but Other 98% is a great example. They have done just phenomenal work with their social, and they'll you know, choose a photo that they maybe found from someone else's Facebook feed and then tag and thank them, and that gives that page more likes. And so there's like just this like culture of cooperation that that you can foster in Facebook that you can't really maybe do in real life, but you should try to do in real life anyway. So that's what I've been trying to do.